Coach Forbes on. So, Coach, we'll turn it over to you for an opening statement.
Well, I don't believe in moral victories, and you got to play two halves to win a game, especially against a team like Virginia. I thought we really played as well as we could play in the first half on both offense and defense. I thought big change from the game Sunday at Georgia Tech on offense is we moved the ball and shared the ball. We spent a lot of time on that last 48 hours of sharing the ball. And when you do that, we have good enough shooters to make shots, and we did that in the first half. And I thought we were in good shape. I knew we'd have to come out in the second half and play the same way. And, we turned it over. We didn't have very many. We only had 6 turnovers at half. We had some really untimely turnovers in the second half that led to baskets. And as you guys know, when you get behind, it's hard to come back because there's long possessions. I don't think I've ever coached a game where the clock hardly ever stops that much. It's kind of bizarre. But I thought that, we battled. I think we got tired. We got a little tired. And I think that, we can't go 5 for 11 from the free throw line, which is shocking to me that we would do that because I know we have guys that can really shoot the ball. But I thought I really talked to him about response tonight before we went out, about how do you respond to adversity? It's part of life. You learn from your mistakes, you change some skills, and you move on and you respond to the next challenge. And I thought we did. We just didn't get it done for 40 minutes. And you have to do it for 40 minutes to beat a team like Virginia.
Coach, I know you said you don't believe in moral victories, but do you believe you got something out of this game that you can build on, especially with the success you had in the first 20 minutes?
For sure, Les. I mean, the last 3 halves that we, at least to this game, I thought we played pretty well, just not good enough, but yeah, I like our players. The only people that really have to believe is the people in that locker room and the staff. And I think you can see tonight that we do. We just we got to have some more time, man. But I like where we're at. But to beat a quality team like that, it's got to be 40 minutes. It can't be turnovers. And we got to get some stops that we didn't get in the second half. And that credit goes to Virginia. They know what they're looking for. They know their roles, and I think that's where we're getting to, Les.
Steve, can you kind of take us through the lineup change you made, because that seemed to have a pretty big impact on the first half and the way you guys took off?
Ball movers versus ball stoppers. I want the ball to move, and then the shot will find itself. Okay, we haven't had. I mean, motion's a hard thing to run. We have had no time. And so I'm trying to orchestrate it the best I can by giving them rules and some roles to play. And I just felt like the guys that we started were the guys that would really move the ball and defend. And I think they did. I thought Davian and Ish did an unbelievable job of coming off the bench. And that's great to have some – I've always liked to have a little scoring pop off the bench anyway. And I thought those guys – really played well and took great shots. Davian was very aggressive off the dribble, and Ish did what Ish did it. That was one of those deals, again, where you say, well, I saw that in practice. Well, he made so many today in pregame practice, I asked him to start missing to save a few for the game. But he decided to just carry it over to the game, which I hope he does for the rest of the year.
Steve, how did you scout for the packed line defense, and did your group exceed even your expectations in the first half with how they dealt with it initially?
Yeah, I mean, Josh, we shot a very high percentage, but I knew one thing with the pack line is you're going to be able to reverse the ball and move the ball, right? They're not going to be out there denying. And so I felt like that we could move the ball, and then I felt like at some point we would have to, get inside their defense. And we did that by swinging it side to side and then slipping some ball screens and setting some ball screens and rolling and getting middle. And I'm sure Tony wasn't probably very happy with that in the first half. And They did a better job on it guarded in the second half. But yeah, I mean, I think against that, you got to move it. If you stand there and hold it against them, I mean, you can forget it. I mean, you can just forget it. And so I was very pleased with the ball movement, but that's the way I want to play against everybody, is move the ball.
Steve, you guys came in, I think, second in the country in the Ken Palm stat for forcing turnovers. And then Virginia only had 6. Was that more of them? I mean, they've been doing that for several years. They're really good at protecting the ball. Is it more them or what you guys weren't doing?
No, it's them. They're not going to take chances, Connor. They're not. They know who they are, and they don't risk. Like, they had a pretty good size advantage at times with Huff in the post, but you didn't ever see them try to throw it over the top unless they thought they had it. They just don't take chances. But they're still aggressive. That's the hard part about it. It's not like they're out there playing keep away. I mean, they got some guys that can beat you off the dribble, Beekman and Clark, and they'll strike you, But I think it's just a product of what they emphasize, and you're good at what you emphasize. And so, you can flip it around. We did have, we gave 15, had 13 against a pretty good defensive team, had 18 playing against zone. So you tell me. I mean, I think we've gotten better in 48 hours.
Steve, Carter got a pretty heavy dosage of Kihei Clark tonight. How do you think he dealt with that?
I think it's good for him. He's a competitor, and he'll learn from it. How do you say his name? Kia. He's a hell of a player. I mean, and the crazy thing about him is he can take it inside. He's effective around the basket because he's so shifty and he gets angles. Davian's got a little bit of that shake in him too. Not quite like that, but I think it was great for Carter. He's just learning where the reads are, what an elite defense looks like. He saw it tonight. And so he's a smart kid, and he watches a lot of film, and he'll get better. But yeah, I think it was something that he probably enjoyed playing tonight and playing against a team like Virginia.
Steve, I'm not trying to get you in trouble with the Greensboro people here, but did the way the game was being called change from the first half to the second half, where you guys only had 3 fouls called against you in the whole first half, and then I think it was 7 in the first 8 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, let me say this the right way. They were very aggressive going to the basket. I think they got more aggressive offensively, but I also think they got pretty aggressive defensively. I felt them a little bit more urgency on their part defensively and a little bit more pressure. And so, you deserve the whistle that you get by how hard you play. And so I don't really have any qualms with that. It's reputation too. When you become great, you deserve it, and they play hard and they defend and they don't try to foul. I mean, I think it's an emphasis for them. They got their hands up, all the time. And so, yeah, I think it hurt us though, getting in the bonus that fast. That was a problem for sure.
Pretty obvious that Jonah can shoot the basketball pretty well. But what about some of the other things he's doing on the court? That steal late in the game and breaking out on transition. It seems like he's actually a presence defensively. Is that a bit of a surprise to you?
Les, I like the fact that you're a student of the game here. I think that's been the biggest improvement of all the players that we have in this program is how well he's bought in defensively. And I think if you remember right, you guys interviewed him back when the season started, and he said something about, I'm not worried about offense. I'm worried about trying to get better defensively. And, sometimes that's just, yeah, right? No, he's really trying hard, man, to defend. I'm really proud of him defensively. He's doing a really good job, he got injured before, right? Got back for Christmas, so that got him behind, but he's back full strength now. And I'm glad you brought that up. And the biggest thing that he's doing is that one thing I talk about a lot, being in the gap and stripping and ripping. And he can do that. He's strong, and he's got, good hands. And he did that tonight, and he's been doing it, and he needs to continue to do it. And I'm proud of him for that.
Steve, can you give us a sense of what the logistics and the itineraries look like amid COVID when the spring semester hasn't started yet? You got the 3 games on the road this week. How much different does that look during the pandemic versus what you might have dealt with in the past?
Well, the biggest difference is the travel. We can't eat on the bus or the plane. And so we have to eat. We have to do media. We have to shower, hopefully, most of them. And then we have to eat in the arena. Okay. Well, you're adding another 30, 45 minutes on to getting home, and so that part of it has been, something to adjust to, especially tonight, because we're going to bus back to Winston-Salem. It's going to be late, especially if you keep asking me all these thought-provoking questions. We'll be back late. They're not going, and then we got a quick turnaround because we got to play Duke at noon on Saturday. So tomorrow will be light. Usually when I've done this like this, when we got big, we play Thursday, used to play Thursday, Saturday, Wednesday. You kind of got to go light the day after the game, then we'll go heavy on Friday, and then be ready to go on Saturday. But for me, I think you'd have to ask the players. I mean, just for me personally, it's just the after the game routine of not being able to get on the bus and eat while you're going home. You got to do that. And then it's the same thing with the plane. You got to wait to eat and then get on the bus, then go to the plane and then go home. So it just added a little bit more time. And I think the hotel's a little bit probably like a ghost town. It's not a lot of people in there but us. And so other than that, I guess it's the same.
Thanks, Steve.
Steve, you mentioned you guys focused on ball movement a lot in practice. From what you saw in practice, did you expect that you guys would move the ball better in this game?
Yeah, David, I was hoping, and I've seen it like for the most part every day. It's just we haven't been able to translate it when the lights come on. And we haven't had a lot of chances to play with the lights on, and so and I was real pleased. And I think we'll stay on that path, and we'll get better at it, and we'll perfect it. One of the things about playing is you get a chance to see, to see it live and not against yourself. And so, I saw the ball movement, but I've seen it, just today we got the game plan into the game basically, and the ball moved. And I think you saw the effect of it when it happens. I mean, we moved it against a pretty darn good defensive team, and made some, I don't know what we had. We scored what we have at half, 39. We're on a 40 pace there. There's been years they've probably given up 40 a game. I don't know. They're pretty good defensively. Anybody else?
You guys good for coach?
Steve, one more. Have you ever coached in Cameron?
No, I haven't. No. And if you remember back to the ACC network, I'm sure you watched this episode of me, Coach K, and Leonard, and they asked me that question, and I said, what was I looking forward to about playing in the ACC? I said, well, obviously playing in Cameron Indoor with no fans. And I don't know if Coach appreciated that. I think he got a chuckle out of it. I was being kind of serious. But no, I haven't. It'll be great to do that, and hopefully Coach will be there. I hope he's feeling good, and in these crazy times, I hope he's feeling good to do that.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.
All right, guys, we've got Isaiah Musius here. Isaiah, you'll need to take yourself off mute, and then you'll be good to go.
You hear me?
Yep, you're good.
I don't want talk to you.
Isaiah, coach was kind of talking about, a real emphasis on ball movement in this game. I don't know, what was the confidence coming in just as far as moving the ball in the offense tonight, especially against a defense like this?
It was a really big emphasis. Like, I think we all knew coming to this game that they were a really good defensive team and that we were going to have to trust every single guy on this team in order to, be a dominant on the offense end. And I think we did that really well. Especially in like 48 hours, being able to, learn new things and be able to, help our offense. I think we did a great job translating it into the game. And this is just a small stepping stone for us to get better.
And we talked about this new lineup that coach put out there. What the lineup do for you, having Carter and Isaiah and Jonah out there?
It helped. Jonah's a great shooter. Ish came in and hit great shots, and I knew, I was able to dominate a little bit in the paint. So when they kind of trapped a couple times, I knew how to have Jonah on the backside to be able to swing the ball to him. Well, the ball moved. It was like it never really stuck for more than maybe a second or two. But if it wasn't, it was just moving and moving constantly. So it had Virginia just kind of in a whole tornado the whole time, and we were just continuing to kind of attack them the whole time and make sure we just kept the pressure on them each and every time we were on offense.
Hey, do you feel like that ball movement changed a little bit in the second half? Did UVA do something to kind of tighten things up and prevent that ball from moving?
I think they were just more aggressive on defense. I think we continued our ball movement, but they kind of, made adjustments. So we continue to do the right things offensively. Virginia's a great defensive team. They've been elite for I don't know how many years Tony Bennett's been here. But they made adjustments, and we're going to continue to make adjustments and get better as well.
How much did you lead in helping the young guys understand what to expect with the packed line when you're at shoot around, when you're scouting ahead of a game like this? I'm thinking specifically like a guy like Carter, or even guys who are older who haven't seen it before.
Yeah, I just kind of told them like the story of how my freshman year with their national championship team, how it was like 25-2, like first 8 minutes into the game. Like that was embarrassing for us, and telling them like, yo, like this defense could be really deadly. Like they're elite at this. So, make sure you just take your time and like let the shots come to you, let the ball move, and we'll get good shots. Like, so I used kind of like the scare method a little bit, if you want to say. But I think everybody was prepared for it, and we came out super aggressive. And, for me, I just kind of told them like, yo, this was a game that I needed. Like we lost to them in OT last year. And, I really wanted to come out here and beat them. We didn't have the outcome we had, but I think we grew as a team, and we're going to continue to grow each and every game.
To follow, on or off the court, are there ever moments where you're reminded that Carter Witt should be a senior in high school right now?
He's my roommate, actually. And sometimes I sit there like, yo, this dude's like supposed to be in high school. Like, it's crazy. But I've kind of just taken him under my wing, like being one of the senior guys and being here for 3 years. I kind of just took him under my wing and told him what to expect. He asked me questions, and sometimes there's a little bit of nerves. I got to help him and relax him a little bit going into his ACC games. But, he's learning and getting better each and every day, asking questions and just competing. Like he wants to compete every single day and practicing in the game. So we push him to be better, and he pushes himself every single day as well.
Isaiah, after putting up 39 points on the board in the first half and shooting over 60% from the field, did your teammates think that you're feeding them a bunch of garbage about how tough the UVA defense is?
Nah, we were actually just excited and like ready to go back at it. Like we knew that they're a great team, and they're 22nd ranked in the country. But we just knew that like if we can battle with them, like we could battle with anybody in the country. And we know that, and we see that in ourselves. So once we put that together and we turn that corner, I think we can compete with any team in the country.
Anything else for Isaiah, guys? All right, thanks. There will be Ishmael Masood, and fire away with questions.
Ish, I guess just kind of take us through, I guess, acclimating with, kind of starting off this year, starting a bit. Now you've been able to provide a little punch off the bench there, especially in a game like tonight where you start off shooting really hot.
For me, it never really, it's always great to start, but it's a matter of who finishes the game and whatever. I have trust in the coaching staff and my teammates. So whatever they need me to do, whether it's start and come off the bench, I'm gonna be willing to do it. I'm gonna play my hardest and try and give everything I got. So it doesn't really make a difference to me.
Well, coach was talking about getting that ball movement going kind of early. I guess as you're seeing that play out at the bench, what does it do for you once that's been established? Maybe the first few minutes of the game and you finally get to check in. What does that do for you to kind of open that up?
It's just try and build off the energy that the people that started the game are going with, and just try and bring more energy coming off the bench, and just like you said with the ball movement, try and pick my spots, get open, play defense, and just build onto the energy that the guys who started the game with build onto that energy.
Coach Forbes told us to start with that he didn't believe in moral victories, and I'm sure you guys probably got a similar message. But even given that, was this an encouraging performance based on looking at Sunday night and how that night went?
Like he said, there's no moral victories, but it's still early. It's our 5th game. We just got to continue to build on it and keep getting better and better as the season goes on. And we gave ourselves a chance to win the game, and he always preaches that that's all you could ask for. And we gave ourselves a chance. So next time we play, hopefully we'll be able to capitalize. But just keep getting better game by game.
To follow on that, I mean, it's 1 week into January and it's only you guys' 5th game. Is that a little just surreal to think about, like when you actually put it into perspective? I know you guys have been through a lot, but just thinking about that, and normally you guys would have played like 13, 14 games at this point.
Yeah, like you said, usually around this time is when teams start hitting their strides, because you have a couple games under your belts and stuff like that. But for us, it feels like we're just starting our season. Like we had the 2 non-conference games, and it's like we're just going right into ACC play. So it's a lot to try and get going right away. But like I said before, like Coach I'm sure said, as long as we keep getting better game by game, half by half, minute by minute, practice by practice, then that's all you can ask for, and just give ourselves a chance to win.
Anything else for Ish, guys? All right, thanks, Ish.
Appreciate you guys.